So excited to be here. That's a great panel lighting up here. Some of the industry leaders and very exciting people. So I think it would be worth to start with everybody just giving a very quick intro on what they do at who they are. We can start with Dylan out here and just the all day out there.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dylan, founder and CEO of Comet. We are an all-one community platform, so you can chat with teammates, agents, and it's all tokenized. So each community and each thread. We started in 2021, and we're happy to support 60,000 communities, ranging from meme coins to L1s and everything in between. How much? Oh, it's okay. I got my start in crypto in 2013, so it's been crazy to see things take shape. And Bitcoin is the first point that I held.
Just attack problems, but that's just how it should be.
Oh, hi. I'm Nimu. I'm working on ecosystem relations for Sonic Labs. Sonic Labs has been here for around 4 and 5 years, and we are the fastest CDN L1 chain out there, suiting the very, very fast infrastructures and having over 100 different applications and ecosystem partners. And we're here to just serve for the blockchain ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I am Louis. I'm the CEO and co-founder of the Excellence. I'm currently running a GTM market lab here in Korea for the Gory commodities to enter Korea more smoothly. And they're providing all kinds of marketing services for them. So just
Hi, Waki here from Olier. So Olier, we basically provide this wallet as service and also EVS as service. And at the same time, we're also working on some decentralized AI infrastructure. Basically, we just try to fulfill the demands from all the project and builders in crypto space to provide all the different infrastructure services for them.
Hi everyone. My name is Drea, and I be at Auto Finance around the person needing to short tokenized treasury open was a real active.
Thank you very much. Just a quick intro about myself. I'm co-founder of Vortex. Initially, working started as a market maker, but since then we transformed it to a bunch of other stuff, ecosystem and infrastructure base. We do ODCs now, we do investments, we do a lot of advisory in tokenomics. So trying to basically cover all the needs that the tokens nowadays have, especially covering the Europeans and partners. And without further ado, that's a great panel. And we will kick off with the first question, which is, given that the panel is about these options, what are, from your experience, the key early decisions that determine if a project actually evolved into a lost in ecosystem or if it kind of like just does its best launch? And I think we could start here with Lily, given that her expertise in kind of supporting projects out there. Lily, what do you think?
I'm thinking what the project is, of course, their product itself. But, like when you see more and more team now making revenue, even before the GE or right after the GE. So sometimes there are a lot of economic they buy, which they support that. So I think like some of them are allocated signal celebration through the early version. They make it as like airdrop, so-called. But after all, when the airdrops are all distributed, maybe sometimes they become just a true hicker in their loss. And what they have got is that they, like bunch of people without trust to need that to sort of people so. And I think it makes really hard for the private kings to survive long. So I think it's really important about to, make some on the design on the tokenomics to keys the revenue tab directly to the within the community bot, so they can have the long sustainable trust community.
Thank you very much. We're seeing a very large number of projects which failed just because of the cool tokenomics design. So fully agree with this one. Dylan, you obviously launched a lot of tokens as well. So what is your take on this?
I would have to agree. I mean, the token is the embodiment of ownership, and so just making sure all the stakeholders have a voice. I would say that one thing that I've seen is on the governance side. Getting that right is really really difficult. But just having something that people are coming back to every single week, and it really just doesn't like me. Is too hot a taste or something like that. Yeah, just getting a ritual that you every single week. Yeah, okay.
It just wakes you, yeah, every single time.
Oh, yeah, governance and getting that right, getting something that you can actually discuss, whether it's like new asset listings for DeFi protocols. Just having a big pot out there for grants is a little bit difficult, just because it just becomes a political game and it can get a little bit vitriolic. So just having clear guidelines for the community to participate is really the way.
Thank you, Ziller. We obviously have major projects here which survived every single market stage up to now. So, given the work of YQ, what do you think about the factors that determine if a project actually lost and survives or not?
I just feel like for the past few years, right, as you mentioned, this bunch of chains launching. Like originally, we saw a lot of the general purpose LLCs like OKR, and in the queue right now, we have a lot of this application focused L2 side develops. Like Rovivo is planning to launch its own like sort of the chain, and this control is sort of the payment or stablecoin. How many we also want to launch their own chain. Uh, from our perspective, as this water service provider, we feel like there's definitely a lot of demand from this, no matter from institutions and also from these new companies or projects, right? They want to launch chains, like so. Our side feel like it's not just about token. We can constantly generate some revenue by providing the service for this company to help them to launch a chain and also maintain sort of a chain. And beyond that, I feel like for probably for the next few years, especially when the infrastructure is more mature, we will see a lot of these applications like this running of super popular capacitor DAs, right? And for them, like most of them, somehow they also need chains. So from our perspective, do like launching chains for them or just build some customized infrastructure services for them is always like sort of demand this. So that's why like we really go a lot of efforts and map power, just try to figure out okay what are the new demands from the industry by providing all the sort of services for all not just the existing project but also for the new project and new demands.
Interesting. Maybe we're very curious to hear your take on this, especially given the great migration for fans of Exotic. You obviously have a lot to share on this, so Kusupu too.
I think for sure, like Aru was on the answer about like code utility, the alignment, and also like hacking out what are the real vignettes. I think another thing I really want to add that I feel like Cordon's industry, there's a meta shift as well, like from a more general purpose that incentivized usage to a real revenue generating applications or revenue generating projects in general. So problem solution is the real issue here. Like really have to figure out what the problem is, what's the pain point was, and what are you solving indeed. And that's like the most important decision for you to even start process or launch a project as a very beginner. So if you really understand what is the problem you're solving and really getting deep into it and finding the right partners to corner up with, like for example, the chain, the interceptor, like us, Sonic Ad, right? If you're choosing a very, very fast, very, very deep tech and secure and well-audited partners to Scarlet, it will help solve a lot of problems at the later stage for pivoting, changing tech, and like a lot of risk issue has gained a lot of pilots for early pilots. So choosing the combat to really pair up with, choose wisely, and also be obsessed with the problems we're solving will be the real like deciding factors.
That just goes straight to the next question, which is I'm sure they're interesting to the audience as well here. What are the key trends in Protoso in the cost 25 in coming year as well to specifically watch out for, especially for the developers that are just preparing to launch their project? I'm giving the word to Dylan out there because obviously, Bill, you are very familiar with projects launching out there.
Yeah, so for us, we see kind of the whole gamut. I would say to pick up a trends for this year. I mean, certainly it's honestly I think is a pretty consensus, but meat points, perpetual slash like prediction markets, and then like AI in general. I would say obviously meat points have like such huge product market fit around I don't know degen specifically, and then for me personally, I'm most interested in the perpetual and prediction market space. I feel like there's so much regulatory clarity that's happening in the U.S. As well as just like product innovation or financial innovation that can happen around that. If it's interesting to trade in the traditional markets, and it just feels so broken. So much of the value is being locked up in private rounds or whatever. Just OpenAI, just for example. And so being able to innovate around that is super important. On the agent side, if you're looking to start something, I mean, it just gets better, and every single day, the worse that the agents are, the worse that the LLMs are is today. And so baking in additional utility beyond just like a chatbot that you can talk to on Twitter or something else is definitely something I'm looking forward to. Maybe in particular, like automatic smart contract auditors, just so that projects themselves can be secure without I don't know principal agent problem with the auditing prims. That's what I would say.
Interesting, thank you. Prediction markets are definitely not, but AI is probably everybody here more or less agrees that AI is definitely the key word of 2025 and probably will be this way. I'm very curious to hear what you obviously say on AI specifically, but more importantly, it can know some more narrow trends within the AI itself, because obviously AI is very, very, it's very diverse in the sense that there's a lot of narrative trends to watch out for. So what are you particularly watching out for there?
Yeah, so as did mention, right? So crypto AI already I always did evolved a new for a few sort of mini cycles for the past few months. Like since last year, we saw a bunch of these crypto agents, right? Basically, it's Twitter bots. Example is like sort of KRX Wiki and also this virtual ELIDA ASAEZ, right? And then after this new season, we found out most of this kind of AI agents, because Twitter apply a lot of these strict rules. And later on, we saw a bunch of AI tree bots, basically help user to facilitate sort of trees on chain. And right now, I feel like because I talk to a lot of my friends, they are working on some sort of using AI to basically filtering the data and provide a lot of these data services. So in that case, instead of like Q or trading or meme coins, all these things, right? They directly help you to figure out, okay, what's the new sentiment for the crypto market right now. And beyond that, okay, well, if you want some reports about specific token, right? You can generate by leverage by MCP and all these new tools from AI to generate report very easily within a few minutes. And beyond that, I feel like for the next probably few months, it will be more powerful. Even we don't call it AI agent, it will be like a combination of the data, the AI data plus still this kind of on-chain trading or sometimes with professional DEX. So in that case, you can see these AI tools to leverage the data they have, and at the same time can also help the traders or user to make decisions what kind of trade you want. That's also something we are currently working on, especially a new product called Rumor. It is basically doing some rumor trading based on the data filtered by the AI, and later it can help user to make some decisions on trading. We believe that definitely is in crypto compared to like sort of Web 2 or traditional like this kind of internet industries. Like on-chain, everything on-chain and everything transparent. That's sort of the real edge for all the crypto projects.
Thank you very much. Rania, we want to be one of the key players in RWA. do you see any intersections there with tokenizing your assets and potential leveraging the AI in some way to potentially review it more effectively?
Wait, go back to here. Did you say RWA is intersecting with what?
With AI.
There's definitely such a trend, but that's not really an area that we're kind of really looking into. More for us in RWA is about enhancing what's out already there and how can we get a better user experience. So, for example, we always talk about like on chain, as liquid being one of the biggest problems that we see. And in our case, we actually adopt the just-in-time liquidity model, or we can actually cap on the liquidity and depth of traditional financial markets option to always ensure that we give users the best prices on chain that mirror that in the real world. That is, for example, like an area of innovation that we really are looking into. Get more harnessing the liquidity in the real world opposed to any other matter of fancy vacation of budgets.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, we saw it be one of the key layer ones out there. What are your thoughts on key layers to be trust for the coming year and this year?
I call it for this year. There's a lot of consensus like on like what's trendy, what's working. So from our perspective, for sure, AI crypto intersections, perpetuals, and also RTDAs, and a lot of institutional expansions, to be honest. And for speaking of institutional expansion, like all the DA keys that is happening, all the like stablecoin rails for institution traditional money, and also like Bitcoin in general. Those are all the hotbeds and the wallets that's being very heated in this session. And for us, as a foundation, we've definitely seen a lot of rising AI projects. And also for us, we're actively doing the keys, that, and working with traditional institutional finance on bringing them on chain, help them tokenize their thoughts, and just have more deep integration and connected with the people.
Thank you. Thank you. Will you be where's the probably biggest three experts out there on the market specifically? What do you think about like, the transfer? Most importantly, do you think that they're different for Korea or do you think that more or less like the same core?
I think it's quite similar that, but uh, since my background is on the in part for the network Swiss, I need to take a curve and very way and which would work well for the green audit. So personally, I think, like it or not, centralized exchange is taking a big part in the crypto world. So we're thinking a close loop on the exchange substance, of course. And I also agree with power with sensors like AI or RWA and stuff. I think that was, in the current market.
That makes sense. Makes perfect sense. And obviously, as market maker, we work with multi projects. Some of them are doing better than others. Some of them are just emerging. But I guess that the most common problem for a lot of the founders, a lot of its use out there, especially the ones that have been around for a while at this point and kind of just like struggling with finding revenue formula for profit out there with products that already have. The key problem for most of them is lack of capital for investments, especially lack of capital from the VC, because most of the VCs out there are kind of due to base right now or just advice. We'll say that brings us to the next question, which is when you are advising a project as a founder, what is the balance between bootstrapping and actually trying to acquire the big VC names, some of the key players to back your token or just back your project? I'm very curious to start with Miu here because obviously Sony has a lot of competitors, a lot of backers. So what do you think on this?
I think it's very case by case situation. And I'm very glad that you bring up that it's a balance of bootstrapping and I was the help of BC funded money. Since he as foundation, we actually have our own innovator fund. We have our own investment arc as well. And we also have like a lot of VC partners. But speaking of from a founder's perspective, if you're doing anything, it really depends on what type of projects and also what type of resources and network that you have. Because what Easy Help or Excel even knows is that they're helping you scaling. It's a problem that they see the potential and also they help you with their network, their resources, their money. They help you scale and accelerate. But from the bootstrapping perspective, you really need to be aware of the problem you're solving. Starting from back to the first question, you have to be aware of the problem you're solving. You have to have an understanding of the problem you're solving, like also knowing that what you're gonna do, what you're gonna leverage your own resources, how you're gonna make it work with all the components, how you're gonna establish all the key resources and align all the stakeholders. So it's all about understanding what you're solving, your landscape, your competitive situation, and also what payment help you can get from the money and the scale. So you need to have this kind of mutual relations and like choose it between you and the resources and the leverage.
Right. Thanks a lot for that. Lily, I've seen on the website that you're also engaged in investments. So very curious to hear what's it say from this.
I'm not a builder actually, so I don't say well the right person to answer.
So what's that?
I'm not a builder in this circumstances, so I don't think I'm the right person to like discuss it.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, still, if you have any take on like if it's more or less good for projects, you just stick with their capital and try to survive by all means, or go hard out there and try to farm from PCs. What do you think about this?
I mean, like you just said, always be helpful. So, like Korea is one of the most biggest market who got hurt by all those EC tokens with press regularly during the last bear markets. So, but I think there's like pros and cons about like having a big Ethereum boards. I don't think it's not necessary to avoid them. I think very necessary, and it's always worthy for the pretty little there is a big EP on. But I think that could be just one herring point. I don't want any product cues here to like misery on the was and neglect on getting product and us. So yeah, I think that could be all the upper thing. Peace.
Thank you for that. And Dylan, obviously, Welcome projects launched without the VC funding. So, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I really know this question. For me, I think as the North Star, creating like a one-person, $1 billion protocol is something that I can actually stretch to see Nora. And it may sound like a far stretch, but we can just look at like a Liquid, for example. Obviously, did it without funding. Obviously, just Jeff did it out of his pocket. But to create such a valuable protocol that people use every single day from an open interest standpoint or a fee standpoint, with a team of 10, 11 is really something that, I think just with AI and the leverage that we have out there is going to happen one. And the second thing on the bootstrapping front, it's just crazy. Every single day that the models are getting better, on stage, if we had an idea, we can chat with Codex, chat with Plot, and then have it now apply the end of it, right? And so the bar is just getting, like higher and higher. But it also means that, well, you can do more with less. And I think the last thing that I would say is just from a venture standpoint, even I saw a recent post from Andrisi. Traditionally, if you were to run like an enterprise SaaS company, it'd be like triple, double, in terms of just the revenue growth every single year. And now kind of the gold standard is like 1 mil in ARR, 15 mil, and 100 mil. And so it's just kind of crazy that the standards are moving higher. But again, you can also do more with less. So I'd say bootstrap one.
Thanks for that. And we have to do wrapping up soon, so we have to do the work to YQ about his take on this. And I'm also very curious to hear about how you think AI, if a positive potential to actually kind of change how fundraising is done by the VCs. If you think that the more analysis applies to actually source and choosing tokens out there, that would be very curious to hear.
So it's good question. So I talked to a bunch of my VC friends, and they told me that so right now internally when they do a lot of due diligence on some new projects or even the existing ones for the liquidity deals, they already start to use a lot of the AI tools. It's no longer just to read. I saw a report from Israel or some of these data analysis company, right? You will directly use a bunch of the AI tools, either Power Code, ChatGPT, or some other like sort of crypto native AI tools with all different ones to generate the report. And beyond that, I just feel like apart from the institutions and also VCs, right? Even for retails, a lot of my trader friends, they also leverage a lot of on-chain tools. Either they directly buy some of the subtraces from these trees, or they just self code with this bulk code themselves, and to either first analyze like some of the data onto data. For example, like for me, coin is quite transparent, right? But sometimes people some deeper tokens, like they will just analyze the whole eye and all different data from all different CX and all DX. And beyond that, some of the more advanced ones, they will like they leverage this AI to generate like sort of the cleaning bots, but it's very convenient right now. Is it like sometimes even probably not for the very complex strategy, but for the simple ones, definitely can leverage all the AI tools to generate right sort of these bots they're trading. Yeah.
Thank you. That's very interesting take. And it's very curious to hear that the stories didn't know beta. That's not instruments of what people have here. With this, we'd have to do wrap up the panel. So I've liked the tempo speakers out here. This was actually amazing to hear sort of the insights about the marketing trends. And thank you for listening to us.